Howdy folks, how you all doing? How are you? Yes, you, sat there watching my videos. Well done you, young grasshopper. Patience, that's what it's all about, isn't it? When is the time to be patient in this game, and when is the time to push forward and start blowing shit up? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm in the Kunze Panzer, which is a great tank. I keep saying this about every bloody tank that I do a video on, don't I? I say, this is a great tank, this is a keeper, this is in my garage and I'll never ever get rid of it. But there's certain tanks, I'm trying to get a bunch of tanks in my garage that I've played a fair few times, but really enjoy playing. And there are some tanks that I've got in my garage that needs patience to play it. But it's when do you decide that you have to be patient? When do you have to push forward and ramble it? You know, and there is times when you've got to be like Grasshopper and walk on rice paper barefooted without breaking the rice paper. Now, if you're thinking, what the hell is he bumping his gums about? Well, if you're around about my age, there used to be a great program called Kung Fu with David Carradine. Who's David Carradine? Oh, look him up, Google him. He was famous. He was famous as the Kung Fu legend. Alright, it doesn't help with the fact that he died in a closet with a rope around his neck in some sexual fantasy, I don't know. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. The time that you need to be patient and the time when you need to push. And I'm going to show you today on this map, Corellia, when to be patient. And as Aristotle once said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Well, Grasshopper, I'm going to give you some wisdom. Sometimes in this game you just got to sit and wait and be patient and let the enemy team make mistakes, and mistakes they will make. All you've got to be is patient. And this is the thing, especially in tanks, you've got to look at your tank and see what the pros and cons of your tank are. And if you're a wise person, if it's got crap armour but a good cannon with an accurate cannon, you don't want to rush in there, because if you rush in there you might as well just throw the towel in and go back to the garage. But a wise man will think, okay, I know my limitations. Hey, what movie is that off of? In the comments below, what movie is that from? A man knows his limitations. See what I did there? But all I'm saying to you is sometimes you've got to be really patient. And even though you're gagging, you're absolutely gagging, you're frothing at the mouth that you want to push forward because you think you can get that extra shot in, there are times in this game when you've got to sit and wait. And then when you do push forward, don't go too far. Try and be safe. And that's not to say sit at the back of the map, because look at where I am on this map. I'm doing a bit of spotting and I'm trying to give information for the team and trying to get shots in at the same time. And that's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. And if you've played this game for any length of time, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. But the whole point of it is that if you try to have an understanding of the map, and I think this could potentially be the key to this game, is if you understand the map, understand the class of vehicle that you happen to be in, and know its limitations, then you will do far better, because you'll make much more balanced, educated decisions about what to do out on the battlefield. Does that make sense? Or am I just trying to be wise when really I'm just as thick as pig shit? Do you know what I mean by that? And I'm not the greatest player on the planet, not by any stretch of the imagination, but the top and bottom of it is that when you start to think about a strategy and think of where you need to go on a map, where you're best placed to go on the map. Now, if I'd have gone over to the 0 line, 9 times out of 10 I know that most heavies go down there and chances are they're going to get shots at me. I've got very crap armour, and I'll probably get 1 or 2 shots in if I'm lucky, if I'm really lucky, before I die. And of course with artillery in the game, they love Cluster 6, as you know. But all I'm saying is by looking at the map and thinking, well, I'll probably be better off going over to this side where I might get a few shots in, but I might get a few spots as well. And you probably sat there thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Well, what I'm actually talking about is before the game starts, is look at the dynamic of both teams. Look at the map that you're on. Look at the class of vehicle that you're in. And I could have quite easily have just run out there and ended up being back at the garage within the first few minutes of the game. And that still happens to me. I'm not trying to make out like I am some unicum, because I'm not, far from it. But what I do try to do is I try to make educated guesses as to where I'm best suited on the map in the class of vehicle that I'm in. And I'm not trying to tell you how to suck eggs, because I'm sure you, the viewer, are a far superior player than I'll ever be. I'm sure you are. But I'm just trying to give you my tuppence worth, hopefully to try and make your gaming experience on World of Tanks that much better. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to help you. Not that I'm any unicum, far from it. I'm just trying to make your experience on World of Tanks a little bit better. And by looking at the class of your vehicle and trying to decide before the match starts of where you're best situated to go to, sometimes, Grasshopper, it makes the right decision at the right time for the right reasons. And when you do that, generally 9 times out of 10 you'll have a fairly decent game that you'll come at the end of it. You might not come top, of course not, but you'll have a decent game, or decent enough game, that you'll sit back and think, do you know what, I actually enjoyed that game. That was quite a decent game for me. I enjoyed that. That was good. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's having fun and thinking that you've participated and done the best that you can with the class of vehicle that you've got. Now look at this. We're absolutely creaming the enemy team, and I haven't taken any incoming shots whatsoever. But more importantly, I've not just been sat at the back of the map doing nothing, waiting for something to come in front of my gun. I haven't. I've been out there actively passive spotting and getting a few shots in. So yeah, not too bad. I've done over 2,000 damage, which isn't a bad game. I've got over 1,300 assisted damage, so it shows it works. But anyway, end of the game, onto the end plates, and I will catch us all in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.